First, we begin with a major ruling on Georgia's abortion law. I'm Rick Fulbaum.
Good afternoon. I'm Gravir Dinzad. The Georgia Supreme Court has ruled that the so-called heartbeat law, which is among the most restrictive in the country, can stay on the books. Atlanta News First. Rebecca Schramm is live in downtown Atlanta. Rebecca, you're learning the fight to overturn that law, though, is not over.
That's right, Gravir and Rick. Good afternoon to you. An attorney for the Center for Reproductive Rights is telling us, quote, "We refuse to back down and we will keep fighting to protect Georgians' fundamental rights." Here's what the other side is saying.
We've been waiting a long time for this.
Pro-life advocates are thrilled with the Georgia Supreme Court's decision.
Today is a day of victory. Thousands of children's lives are going to continue to be saved because our Life Act, the Georgia Heartbeat Law, is allowed to stay in effect.
Several groups that support abortion access originally sued the state, saying Georgia's so-called heartbeat law, which prohibits most abortions after fetal cardiac activity is detected in the womb, is unconstitutional because it became law when Roe v. Wade was still the law of the land under U.S. Supreme Court precedent. The state appealed to the Georgia Supreme Court, which today overturned the Fulton County Court ruling.
I think this is somewhat expected, right? The
constitutional law expert Anthony Michael Kreis of Georgia State University tells me the ruling won't be the end of it.
That doesn't answer the fundamental question about whether there's a right to an abortion under the Georgia Constitution. It just simply said that the Supreme Court said today that legislators have the right to test that question.
He says the plaintiffs will now go back to the lower court with another claim that the ban violates Georgians' right to privacy and equal protection under the state constitution. He predicts the state will argue that the right doesn't apply to an abortion because of a third-party harm.
I suspect that we will see some movement fairly quickly, but then, of course, there will be another appeals process, and the Georgia Supreme Court will have to decide on this question again.
And here is part of a statement by Planned Parenthood Southeast. They say, "We and our partners will keep fighting for Georgians' ability to control their own bodies, lives, and futures, no matter what." My colleague Patrick Quinn is speaking with the ACLU of Georgia, and we will have complete coverage throughout the afternoon and evening. Live in downtown Atlanta at the Georgia Supreme Court, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.